This video contains strong language not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. June gets off of Reach like a little asshole.
Allegedly.
Nobody liked June anyway.
No,
It's a little
I
rat.
did.
Yeah, that month sucks.
So, hi everybody, welcome back to a hopefully less actually thunderstormy game of 5% chance of disaster. This week.
Oh,
Sorry,
nice, Kendrick. Never do that.
I don't know what's happening anymore. This week there is a 5% chance that you guys will get this door open on your first try. There's a chance.
I'd say it's like a 2.5% chance.
Yeah, I don't think it's 5.
So, unless we left off, the group decision had been made to push forward in opening the door, getting to Fearnax, and presumably killing him. At least that's the goal as things open up this episode. Unless we left off, people had split off into groups. Lythar and Thalia were making their way to the Brotherhood, with Cora tagging along. Maury, Frank, and Ronan were headed to Ed's to talk to him. Robbie had taken a map that he'd acquired and sketched out various points on the map where the symbol of the Primus might line up with Corumvor, and was talking to the lovely priest of Mechanus that you had met earlier. Lamy went for a walk in the woods by walk through the city in the rain as the storm continued to roll in. And Thrall, I believe you were just kind of hanging out at the Twist and Shout, unless you wanted to go somewhere.
Can I tag along with Brendan?
Yeah, you guys can tag along and run. Is there anything you guys want to do before you all part ways?
Me. Ronan, you're going to Ed, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so before you guys leave, you're gonna see me like break out a piece of parchment. I'm just gonna be like,
You want me to write on parchment?
Ronan, I'm writing on it right as we speak.
For why? You don't think I can remember?
It's
That's
not for
quite
you.
rude.
It's Ronan. And then I'm gonna pull out all the feathers I have from the rock, neatly bushel them up, put the note on it, and be like, please give this to Ed when you see him.
Okay, and I will take those.
Ronan, at this moment, you're a little... It takes a second because you're also carrying the beak and all of the other random bits of animal that you've collected over the last 3 weeks.
I'm supposed to have feathers, but I don't have
You do
them
have
written
feathers.
down.
Oh, then you don't have feathers.
Yeah, I guess I don't have feathers. I have written down that I have feathers and talons in my notes. They're just not on my sheet. Does that count?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Alright.
I don't have them in my inventory either. I just have them on a piece of paper.
Who wants to go first? What group? Who wants to make their little adventure?
Ain't done matter me nuns.
This is the part of the classroom where no one makes eye contact with the teacher.
Everyone's literally looking in different directions on their screen.
Everyone's
I think
Except Mike, who's freaking me out a little bit.
I think we prefer if you asked us to roll for it at this point.
Cool, everyone roll conversational initiative.
Oh, goodness.
What is that, a charisma check?
Nat 1, baby!
It's a 13!
You got a nat
Okay.
1 too?
Okay, so it's gonna go for the squad that's going to chat with Ed, because both of the people going to the library to
This just
research
fits our
Fear
conversation skills
Next
perfectly.
rolled a nat 1 on conversational. There was a long, awkward amount of walking, and there was you both were like, and like you're about to say something, and then you think about it a little too long, and you're like, "No, that's stupid." And you don't say anything for pretty much most of the walk over. So we'll jump to the group headed to Ed's, and I believe you also mentioned wanting to stop by the boiling bottle and pick up some potions.
So I'm going. We're going there with myself, Thrall, and Maury,
And Frank.
and
And
Frank,
Keelik.
And Philo, dude.
And Philo, yes.
Philo Green.
And yeah, so look, there's an entourage of like 6 people going off to visit Ed. So who there's no conversations you guys want to have on the way. We can just jump you right to Ed's or the boiling bottle, wherever you want to go first.
I don't know, Maury. Do you want to have any conversations?
The entire way to the boiling bottle, or whatever the heck it's called. I just want to be completely silent the whole way.
Okay.
Cold shoulder.
I'm gonna talk to Thrall about the weather.
Yeah, it is raining pretty steadily. There's not a lot of whatever foot traffic there is usually running pretty quickly. There's still some people trying to hawk their goods, but they're not getting a lot of response because it's just gross and wet.
Worked fair during the rain. Nobody's there.
Yeah, no, nobody's there in the rain. Okay. So Maury, as the silent storming off type, where are you headed first?
I think the potion store.
I think that's closer than Ed's.
Yeah, it's on the way. Okay. So you get to the boiling bottle, and it looks boarded up. But it also looks like Maury, with your, because if I remember correctly, your passive investigation is pretty high.
Oh yeah, 16.
16. So you notice that it looks like the door is damaged, and it looks like somebody broke in fairly recently.
I go invisible.
Okay.
Is the door like openable? Can I just? Is it already?
Yeah. When you go up, looking at it, it looks like they tried to like close it and make like a quick, kind of a quick and dirty hasp lock to just keep it closed. But if you pushed and kind of wiggled at it, you could jimmy the lock, the latch off of the door because of how damaged it is, and be able to get inside.
Let me go first.
Who said that? I'm gonna start
Little
waving
voice in
my
your head.
arms in the direction of where Thrall last was.
Over here, running.
I run that way.
I'm gonna tap him on the shoulder and then go in the door.
Okay. Okay. Are you go? So, do you want to jimmy the door open? Do you want to just bust the door down?
Maybe we should just
I don't-
knock first. They could have just repaired the door.
It looks like nobody's inside.
What if we knock loudly?
That's all you, big guy.
I knock on the door loudly.
Okay.
Big knock.
As you're knocking on the door, it kind of like you see the door literally bowing in the when you're hitting on it, like it's just kind of flexing around the latch. There's a cat on here, but apparently that was a very exciting piece of news. But it looks like this door has been thoroughly just abused. Everybody, actually, and as you're Ronan, as you're hammering on this door, you all remember that the gentleman who owned the boiling bottle went missing.
Oh yeah.
You remember, like, as you're pounding and you're like looking at the damage and everything, it clicks in your head. Oh yeah, this guy isn't here anymore.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Can I kick in the door?
Give me a strength check. The answer is probably.
Please don't be trapped.
19 plus 5.
Cool. So as that sinks in for Maury and for Thrall, Ronan just like leans back and puts all just like it's just like mostly body weight and just like just pops this this lock off of the door jamb and the door just swings open. And inside you see a shop that is in absolute disarray. It definitely it looks like a tornado blew through and just upended and tossed things around, and there's broken glass all over the shop.
Hello.
Hello. There's a weird.
Wow, that's a big room.
There's a weird. It's weird. It's a weird dead, flat sound when you speak.
Well,
Is everything gone, or is there like still stuff on the shelves?
There's still stuff on the shelves. A lot of stuff looks like it was flipped over in a struggle.
A strudel. I'm gonna go inside. What's the worst thing that can happen to me? I got eaten by a bag.
I'm going inside too.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay, so everybody makes their way inside. Let me see real quick.
Can I start like looking around for like free potions and?
If you guys want to, look around for some stuff, give me some investigation or perception checks to do some digging. Where's the cheat sheet I have?
Well, that is a 12. I find all the things.
Got a 23.
What did you say, Brandon?
I got a 7.
Okay.
Investigation.
What did Keelik and Frank get?
Damn it.
Okay.
Frank got a 22. And I got a 23.
Okay. So as people are kind of shuffling around, Maury, you and Frank, as you're flipping through you find what looks like a storage box tucked under a table that got bounced around. And in that box, when you crack it open, you find 5 potions of what looks like these 5 brilliant red bottles of what look that it feels warm to the touch, and the box is labeled fire resistance.
We'll throw 2 over to Robbie and 2 to Thrall.
Robbie's
not here. Robbie's talking to Jesus.
Not bad. Ours, Ronan.
Ooh, what are these? They're hot.
They're potions of fire resistance. They might come in handy.
I'll put them in my
Speaking
pockets.
of, we're gonna go fight a dragon. So.
What was Ronan? You had a 12.
Yeah.
You find 2 potions of healing, similar to the ones that you picked up last time.
Okay.
They just look to be normal ones. Thrall, you had a 7.
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay. You find it looks weird. It's in a it's locked in a box, a glass case. That's
case
very dusty. But the bottle itself looks like a skull, like the bottle of the skull. The base of the bottle looks like a skull, and the top looks like the spout looks like a candle, and then the cork goes where the flame would be. And it's just in a little box. It's hanging out. Very dusty, locked box.
I like it. Can I take it?
Yeah, absolutely. No, there is no one here to stop you.
I'm taking it.
Okay, so yeah, you guys are finding these couple of potions. Keelik is kind of kicking through some of the debris, just trying to look around for anything like that. Everyone, give me a perception check.
I was about to say.
What did Frank find?
This is a 15.
13.
19.
Okay. In 13, 18, 19, I'll roll for Keelik. Okay, cool. So as you guys are kind of keep rummaging through, you're finding some local like homebrew kind of stuff. There's something that's like, it's a headache cure. There's a couple of just like tonics and some stuff like that. And as Keelik is kind of sweeping through the room, he looks up and freezes and goes, "Everybody get down."
I get down.
He just drops to the floor.
I'm still in biz, right? I believe.
Yes, I believe. So yeah, you've seen this box just like pick up and then go into a bag.
I get
will
down.
Also get down.
Everyone give me stealth checks with advantage, please. I see you, Mike. I see you.
Natural 20.
Me too? Or am I good?
You're fine, actually, because you are invisible.
I also got a natural 20.
Oh my god,
Ooh.
2
No
net ones
way.
and 2 crits. Keelik is fine. Can you roll for Frank for me?
I mean, I can if you want me to.
Natural
Yeah,
1.
Frank's also getting advantage.
That is still a 6.
So everybody ducks and hits the ground, and Frank is like trying to emulate. He's like, and he kind of gets like something catches in like a knee joint, and he just like he's kind of frozen there. He doesn't fall; he's just kind of frozen there. And you see a shadow you see somebody looks like they're walking by, and someone's got their face pressed up against the glass, and you see it looks like a middle-aged or like a late 20s, a man in his late 20s, kind of looking through the windows, kind of seeing what's going on. And there is Frank, just like spear up, just kind of looking at the dude in the window. And he's like, okay. And he turns and starts to run off away from the window. And you start hearing him. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I think it's time we leave.
Agreed.
Yeah, as you're you hear under the rain, you faintly hear him being like, "Help! Help!
Is there a back exit?
Give me investigation or perception.
Can I help him?
Yes, if you want to assist. Also,
assist.
Ronan can make a back door almost anywhere.
I was going to say, if there's no back door, I will make a back door.
Okay.
I could say 13.
Okay. There is a door that leads out to the back where they probably load in deliveries. The door is locked.
Ronan, can you?
I would like to go through the door.
Okay. Shoulder charge?
Yeah,
Or you
just for flavor, can I pull out the beak and use it as like a riot shield type deal to tackle through this door?
You're using. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a strength check with advantage.
Yeah. So I like to. Well, that's 19 plus 5, and that's 2 plus 5. So I'll go with the 19 plus 5.
Cool. So you bash like Ronan as he's like moving towards the door. Actually, Ronan, you describe how you go through this door. Tell me, wax philosophy.
I would like to go, like, the door breaks open, but it doesn't break off the hinges. Like, the door frame is still, like, attached to the door, but I just go through the door. Kind of like a Looney Tune kind of boosh. So the door is still locked and closed, but there's a me through it.
There's a Goliath-shaped hole in this door.
Yeah.
That is leading outside into like it's a fairly kept like gravel road that rejoins the main road into the back towards the range.
Shall we?
Let's get out of here.
Frank is trying to. He's moving, but it looks like something's hitched in his knee. Like something in the mechanics, something is like he's kind of hobbling a little bit as he's doing his best to keep up with you guys.
I pick up Frank. And then
Just over the shoulder?
Yep, and we leave quickly.
Okay. Keelik is still like, he's watched all of this happen on the floor, and he's like, he like pulls himself up and just goes out through the hole. Very quietly. Okay. So y'all tag along, doing your hop on pop tag along thing. And as you guys make your way, are you going back and rejoining the main road, or are you sticking to alleys? What's your continued stratagem?
I vote alleys.
I vote alleys also.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
So you guys start making your way through some side paths. Give me, actually,
Side path check.
yeah. No, you're good. As you're making your way through these side paths, you do see what looks like a man in a rain-soaked cloak run up to all of you, and as he gets closer, he's a fairly portly man, with a fairly big mustache, and he runs up, and he goes, "Hold on." Ugh.
Hold on to what?
Don't go anywhere.
You good, buddy?
I have questions. I need to ask you some questions.
For who?
All of you.
Why?
Who are we?
Oh, I haven't run in a while. And he stands up and he goes, and as he like kind of fixes his cloak, you see that he has plate armor under it, and it looks like part of the city guard. And he's like, what are you gentlemen out doing this late, or in this weather?
We're going to the what's it called?
Ed's.
Ed's.
Oh,
The guy with the guns and the swords.
oh yeah, okay, yeah. Where I hate to ask.
Yeah.
We got a report of a break-in, and you're the only people I've seen on the streets so far today, aside from the person who reported it. Were you doing anything stupid, dangerous? Did you break in?
No.
Just have him check, please.
14.
He kind of looks and he's like, Is that your robot?
No.
Oh, whose robot is it?
It's his
It's mine.
little grumpy gnome back there.
Hmm.
He's been mad at me for like 2 days.
Well, sir, could I get a closer look at your robot? The witness mentioned seeing someone robotic in the shop, and
Well, that seems racist.
I'm just reporting what he told me, and that you're the only people I've seen, and he's the only one who matches the description. So just doing my job. Can I take a look?
Sure, we didn't do anything wrong. There's plenty of robots out here.
Give me another deception check, please.
What if I drop Frank on the ground as he's saying that? Will that give him like advantage for like distracting the guard?
Can I get Philo to kind of like go underneath his hat and then poke up to be like in the middle of his forehead and have like 3 eyes?
As you're as far as like a distraction, just to try and like
No, to kind of like hide his features. I don't know.
just kind of yeah. So yeah, Philo, as he's like, I'm talking, and like Philo just like gets under the cloak and just like just perches like on his head. He goes, it pulls Philo away. Oh, hi. You? Is this also yours?
not
Oh,
mine.
I was talking Frank's hat.
Oh, Frank's. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I thought you meant the guard. So let's
Sorry.
forget that happened. So yeah, as Frank is hanging, Philo like kind of settles onto the head. If you did that while you were talking, I'll give you advantage on the deception check.
I, it was a 13.
Okay. He's like, and he's like, excuse me, and he kind of snakes between all of you guys. And he's a bigger, like, heavy-set dude. This guy definitely looks like he got the cushy gig, and he got the rainy shift and was like, I don't have to really do a whole hell of a lot. And then they made him run. So he's like, that's neat. I've never seen one of these with 3 eyes before.
Professionally made by yours truly.
Oh. Does it have a name?
Yeah, Frank. With a PH.
Ah. All right. Nice. And he's like, oh, well, nice to meet you, Frank.
This guy's boring.
Listen, it's raining. We got an appointment. Can we just...
All right. I need real quick, and he pulls out what looks like a notepad and pulls it up close to his chest, and he's like, before you go, I need your names just in case and where you're staying, just so I can contact you. Are you from around here, or are you just visiting?
Yes.
Both.
I'm not going to answer because I can't tell a lie. I'm not saying anything.
Also, I still think you're invisible.
I am, so I'm just standing there silent.
And Keelan goes, we're visiting, sir. He's, oh really? Where are you staying?
The leaky tap. What's it called? The twist my nuggets.
The twist and shout.
Yeah, that.
Oh, you're staying at Adam's place. Okay.
He's a very nice man.
He's
Man.
he's lovely.
People.
His family has known people.
Well,
Oh yeah, right. All of the brothers.
Yeah,
You're right.
he has like 7 brothers.
Yeah, more than 7 depending on who you talk to. No, their family's been here for a long time. They're all exceptional people. Well, but yeah, if I have any other questions, I'll come visit. Anyway, you're right. It is wet, and I don't want to have to run after about anybody else today. But if you see anything, any fishy, any robots running around, you let me know.
Okay.
Will do.
All right. Have a good night. And he goes and starts heading over towards the boiling bottle.
Just gonna look over at Frank and go, isn't it morning? And just keep walking.
Pretty sure we did just wake up, didn't we?
Last timestamp I remember was about 10:30. So in the morning.
Yeah. So with that, you guys are making your way back to the Twist and Shout. We'll jump over to the other group. The 2 not super talkers and the dog making their way over. So you guys get to, unless there's any conversations you want to have, you guys will make it to the Brotherhood of Books.
Well, I guess the perfect way to start this awkward conversation is like we'll be walking, and we're both, like we'll give Cora a look, and I'm thinking like, how do I do this? I'm just gonna break the ice and just kind of be like, so dragons, we got to deal with that dragon.
Yeah, Yep, gotta go research that.
Speaking of research, do you've known Ergen for way longer than all we have, correct?
Yeah.
So, what can you tell me anything about his past or Nildarni? Cause, well, yeah. Can you tell me anything? Do you know any specifics about Nildarni, or even just him?
I knew that was his home. I knew. Um, I knew he lived there until Fearnax destroyed it.
I just learned of that recently. I went to Nildarni.
You did. When?
Remember when Robbie was touched God and all that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty unforgettable.
The shadow, after I read my letter, said he would take me wherever I wanted to go. So I visited the place where I first met Ergen and paid my respects, and then I had him take me to Nildarni, even though there really isn't Nildarni anymore. Just a bunch of dead trees. Sadness.
You did say it was torched to the ground. Nothing left.
So before, I already wanted to kill the dragon. We have no idea how evil it could be and what could happen in the future, but now I have a personal vendetta against this dragon for what it did to him and my people. Not my people, but, you know, my kind. In my letter, Ergen, once again, gave me another nut problem. And I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to be like, oh, he gave me this walnut.
Alright, are you handing me the letter or the walnut?
Well, I'm showing you the walnut,
Okay.
but I will tell you, because I found out you can pin messages in Discord, which, holy crap, Curtis, this makes a lot of things easier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to scroll up to 6 months ago for some things.
Control F, your best friend.
Well, that too, yes. So I'm going to show you, or let you hold the walnut and show you to it. And I'm just going to be like, so in my letter, Ergen, well, I guess it's a seed from his family's garden. It's like a shadow willow. His family's tradition was to plant them wherever they would settle, so their shadows could step from grove to grove and always stay connected. Like I said, I visited Nildarni, and there was no one and nothing there, just death and darkness, and he has no idea if he has any family that could even follow the trees. And he was always trying to find a place to plant it, and he wants me to plant it somewhere so it can grow and be protected.
Did he ask you to plant it where it meant most to him, or where it makes sense for you?
Well, he didn't really say. It just says, he explains what happened and how it works. And then he said he's kept this last seed, always trying to find a place to plant it, thinking that he would wander somewhere and start a new grove. And then he says, if you're reading this letter, I failed. Please, Lythar, find a place where the seed can grow and be protected. So it sounds like for him, for his family and his people. And I don't know where to put it, and I don't want to dishonor it or waste this, if you know what I mean.
Well, he trusts you. Can you think of a place where it'd be protected? If he hadn't planted in Corumvor already, I guess maybe not here.
But with the dragon underneath the city, and with the corruption going on in the city, I don't trust half the people in Corumvor.
He did hate half the council. There was that one incident where I don't think they would have let him plant anything.
Well, all we need to know is there's a dick wizard and I'm out, so
Look,
that guy's...
look, he's my boss, okay?
I know, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to talk trash on the
He's
upper
not-
management.
He's not that bad. You guys got off on the wrong foot. I mean, I can't really change your mind, can I?
If he proves to be helpful, maybe. Also, I'm gonna look down at Cora and just be like, are wolves or extremely large dogs allowed in the library? Because she's going in with us.
I'll see what I can do. But back to your nut problem.
Yes.
Can you think of a place where it'd be protected? Any place that means something to you? Maybe where you were raised, or anything in connection to your parents, maybe?
My initial thoughts were in Cornvor, where I did meet him, but like I said, I don't trust this area. I thought about Nildarni, but after going there, there's nothing there, and I don't even know if that soil's so burnt, I don't even think anything could grow ever again. So then I thought maybe in Vint, where that statue of my mother is, who apparently died protecting the city.
Did I know that? I forgot. Sorry. I can't remember if I know that or not.
Nope.
Nope, I don't know that.
I don't. Lythar, did you tell her?
We were
when
talking
you-
about this last night. I don't remember. Because
I
I
think
came back with Cora and I
know
was just
that
like,
my
hey,
parents are dead and they saved people dying. I don't know anything about Vint.
yeah.
I think you. Yeah, I think you briefly mentioned it, but I don't think you got like the nitty gritty details.
So I just dropped a bomb on you, I guess.
I will actually stop walking. Wait, you found a statue of your mother?
When she stops, I'm just gonna keep walking for like 3 steps and then realize she stopped and be like, turn around, walk back, and just be like, sorry about that. The shadow also took me to Vint, which I had heard stories from Ergen that my mother died protecting that city, and there is a statue of a wolf.
Quick interjection. It was. I don't believe it was Ergen. I believe it was the.
Or was it the trees?
It was the dryads.
The dryads.
that you talked to in the grove.
You right.
They gave you that information.
My bad.
You're good. Just maintaining canon. Doing my best.
Wow. I mean, must have been a hard day.
It was a hard day, but it was also warming in a way. Well, Vint was warming to know anything about my mother and to know she died with honor like that. And now Cora makes more sense because apparently my mom was a wolf, and the dryads also told me that there's legend that around Vint you still hear a wolf howling in the night. So I don't.
Wow.
Do you know anything of Vint at all, or no?
Do I?
It's give me a history check.
It's a place.
That's 11.
So Vint is the very far. It brushes up up against the Rusted Mountains off to the east, and they it's sort of they're called the Rusted Mountains because it's a very iron heavy mining settlement. It's a fairly big bustling mining town. That serves a couple of areas. They'll ship things down the river to a couple of major trading cities. They also are. There's rumors about everyone talks about the purity of stuff that comes out of these different places. But Vint is known for very good ironworking.
I mean, I've heard of the city. I mean, they're said to have really nice ironwork. Never been there.
Yeah, I didn't really look around. I kind of just shadow just appears. He literally walks through the shadows. Which, did you know Ergen apparently was like a master of that?
I didn't know he could walk through shadows. I had my suspicions. Trying to get truth out of that man was... Anywho, but maybe Vince a place you could plant the shadow willow.
Yeah, I didn't really look around much, but there were definitely people because I fell asleep in front of the statue and woke up. And it was pretty late at night, so it was probably early afternoon when I woke up, and some people were kind of looking at me, but no one bothered me. And then this loud sound happened, and the shadow said, "We need to go." And that's when I reappeared, and everyone said Robbie had touched God,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
which I'm still confused about that.
Don't worry about it. Just
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
At about that time, you guys have arrived, so it's the don't worry about it. Hey, look, we're here! Hooray!
This went a lot better than my previous nut problem.
Kendrick,
So-
what happened to the top of your headset?
I don't know. I tried adjusting it. It's a Velcro. It's a Velcro thing. It's like sticking up.
Oh, boing!
So, so you get to you walk through the city square. There's still some construction in the area where the fight had happened like 2 days ago. But they've got a bunch of like sawhorses so people aren't go stumbling into the hole that you conveniently blasted into the sewers. And so the Thalia, you guys are in the alcove leading into the Brotherhood. What do y'all do? What do you want to do?
Are we like super wet from the rain?
It's the rain has picked up to a very like steady drumming downpour.
Okay. I forgot to do this week, but I meant to switch out mending for Presty. Can I dry us off using Prestidigitation?
Yes, you can absolutely Presty.
All right.
Presty is super useful if you're
feel
ever
like-
playing a caster.
I feel like Lythar was about to just like whip open the door. I'm like, no, wait,
What?
Prestidigitation. You're dry, Cora. It'll take me a little bit, but you'll be dry.
Cora just gonna
Thanks, Cora.
and get us re-wet. Like, oh,
Yeah, Cora does that after you've dried off yourself and Lythar, and Cora's like, I got this, and she's bone dry. And you two are now thoroughly drenched again.
All right, let me do this again. Presty.
I'm gonna look at Cora like,
She like kind of tilts her head and starts to shake it like she's gonna do it again, and then just kind of like and just sits at the door and just waits.
Then head inside.
Okay. Liv is actually at the desk today.
Sweet. I pull off the Kyles and just put them down. Thank you. They're so useful. That's such a smart idea. That's amazing.
Yeah, I should probably patent this.
You really should.
I might have to find somebody I can patent this to. Maybe somebody in the range can make a bunch of these. I'm sure that would be an excellent.
I bet you. I mean, they're great for reading those celestial books, but I mean, an everyday one would be.
I'm gonna let. I made these before I started reading the celestial books. Whoops. Anyways, what can I help you with? And she kind of looks and sees Lythar standing there, and then her eyes go to Cora, who is just standing next to you, very polite, very demurely. He goes, is he with you?
Yep.
Okay.
Her name's Cole. He's such a sweetheart.
Uh-huh. You know, we're not supposed to let dogs, wolves, large animals in.
I'm just gonna look at her, like not intimidate, but just look at her like.
Okay, so what? I know we can't bring her into the library, but what if I just had her stay in my room for a while we're looking and doing some research? Or here at the desk. She's great company.
And she kind of looks. Cora at that point just kind of walks forward and puts her paws up.
I was literally about to do that. I was gonna ask you how tall the desk is.
Yeah, Cora's big enough that she puts her paws up on the desk on either side of the ledger and is just like, and like has the cute like the German Shepherd thing where like one ear is up and the one ear is like cribbed, and she's just like, do you have Cora's stats up at the moment?
Yes.
Can she make a charisma check at advantage, please?
-2? She's worse than me.
Yeah, he doesn't talk to people.
Oh my god, that's a nat 20. I'm not even kidding. Holy shit.
Okay, so she's like, I don't know. And Cora just pops up and does that dog grin, and she's like, nice dog. And she puts her hand out, and Cora gives her a lick and like puts her head under so she can start scratching at all of Cora's favorite spots. And Liv is just like, oh god. Oh, he's gonna kill me if he finds out. Okay, so I can't let her into your room. I can. Does she like small spaces? Because I can hide her under the desk. If that's like, there's some room here. It's not super comfy, but like she can hide under the desk.
I'll look at Lythar.
I'm gonna look at Cora.
Cora is now like eye level with you.
Because
Because she's up against it. And Cora is just like, and like drops down and walks behind the desk and just kind of lays down. And she's basically turned the lighting off, so now she's just looking like a dog again. And she just kind of lays down, and Liv is like, oh, she's like kind of awkwardly like shuffling around to make sure she's not accidentally gonna step on her. She's like, oh, does she need anything to eat? Does she need anything? I'm not really a dog person. I'm not really an animal person.
did we eat in the morning before we left?
Yeah, you guys ate.
And she ate.
Yep.
Well, we had some breakfast, but maybe like a bowl of water just in case, you know.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I can do that, yeah. Mike, was that a hand raise or a...
No, I see some very bad above me, so if I disappear, it's because I'm escaping rain.
Okay, no worries.
That's just Discord. That's groovy, not outside.
So Groovy, they're not fucking
That's what
Cora.
Cora. I will be right back.
Okay. So Cora settles in. Oh, Mike, the camera's back on. Oh, we're going in the house. So Cora like settles down and Lily.
Can you help me get a response?
We're gonna mute him real quick. There we go. I got him. I server muted. We're fine. The power of Discord. So yeah, Cora lays down and Liv is like, okay, how long are you? What are you guys here for?
We are researching dragons.
I'm gonna look at Dolly and just go without saying it.
I'll
Though.
smack him and be like, we're researching dragons today.
That's exciting. Is this for the mayor or for you personally?
Him personal, me for the mayor.
Oh, are you a dragon killer?
Well, you could say that.
Right, I could, but are you?
In my mind.
Have you ever heard of a rock?
Like
Like the giant bird.
Yeah.
I shot one out of the sky with one arrow, and that's what I plan to do to a dragon.
Really? Can you prove it?
Oh, I just got rid of the fucking feathers.
I was there. I'll vouch for him.
What? Okay.
Give me a day or two, and I'll have something that can prove it.
Yeah, if I had a nickel. But if Thalia is going to vouch for you, then yeah, okay. That's honestly the most impressive thing I've heard this week.
Well, thank you.
Oh! Me coming to you in the morning, hungover, was not...
It would have been more. It would have been more impressive if I hadn't lost money on you. Let's be fair.
I'm telling you, what do I owe you?
Hey, don't worry about it. That's already been paid up and squared away. But yeah, here, just sign into the ledger, and yeah, you know your way around. You can find what you're looking for. And how long are you gonna be? Because my shift ends in about 3 hours, and I don't want to have to explain.
Say no more. We'll be done within 3 hours.
And as you're leaving, she's like, kind of reaching down, and Cora has adjusted and is letting, like, her head is in Liv's lap, and she's just like she's kind of settled into a petting pattern or routine. She's just kind of giving her scritches as the door shuts behind you. So as you guys are going, I'm gonna jump to somewhere else, but if you guys can give me 3 history checks.
I was about to say, I also, if I think it'll help, I may also look into the history of the city.
Okay.
Durgan,
yes. So kind of figure out what questions you want to find out. If there's anything specific, if you just want general information, you guys can ping each other in Discord to kind of coordinate your efforts. Because basically, with 3 hours, I'll give you guys 3 answers to 3 questions.
Okay.
What
So
is your favorite color?
Do we
What's our
want
question? Crap.
to Robbie or Lami? Do you guys have anything you want to say or do in this time?
I don't think so. I'm gonna be sitting at the bar at the lovely Twist and Shout.
You made your way back after your
yes,
walk
contemplating my life.
Okay. You came back. Adam does not greet you at the bar. Evelyn does.
Who's Evelyn?
Evelyn
How do you not remember who Evelyn is?
I forgot.
The chick who flirted with Kendrick for like.
I think Kendrick flirted with her. I don't think she flirted with Kendrick.
There was flirting in one direction or another, and so Evelyn is just kind of yeah. That's where the cherry fairy thing happened, and Evelyn is making polite conversation with you, or she's attempting to make polite conversation with you. Are you conversing back, or are you just like staring?
Yeah, I'm all for polite conversation. I got great charisma.
Okay, so there's some polite back and forth bantering. A few statements that she says that honestly make you blush, and a few statements of hers that she also kind of like is a little taken aback by your the stories of what you did in your youth.
Stealing your girl, Kendrick.
Robbie, is there anything you would like to do? Because last we left you were sitting with
right. So I guess I forgot. Am I still muted? No, I'm not.
I unmuted you. I had you server muted because your stuff kicked back on.
Yeah, the headset came out. Sorry. So I didn't realize when I was laying the map out in front of him. Does he have like an easy up over his little carpet? Because it's raining and I have a map.
So the Walk of Faith has all of these awnings sort of over, because it's basically an alleyway between a couple of very large buildings. So it's always tarped over. There's a dry spot. There's a couple of dry spots where the prime spots are ones that don't have any holes in the tarps. And this guy he's made himself a fairly nice secluded dry spot.
Yeah.
So the map is not being ruined. So the Brotherhood of Books will not hunt you down and skin you alive for ruining the map.
I don't know. I guess it would take 15, 20 minutes to explain my theory, plus like pointing out all of the different like points on the map to him, and then I'm just gonna look up at him and just, does this mean anything to you?
Does it mean something to you?
Well, as my current life has only been about 3.5 weeks, I am confused as to whether these pools occur naturally, or if they have been seen before on this plane of existence.
I've never seen one.
What could it mean?
I don't know. Perhaps Mechanus is coming through. Maybe this place needs more order. Or maybe the planes are meant to be kept separate and order is being pulled out. What matters with most things about faith is, what do you believe?
I believe that I have been chosen for a specific task.
Will you carry out that task?
Yes.
If that's what you believe, and that's what you feel that you've been chosen to do, then what I feel and think doesn't really matter.
Of course it does. You are a teacher, and you are a teacher of order.
That's true, but my lessons tend to fall on deaf ears.
I have no ears, so they cannot be deaf.
You speak eloquently. Have you considered becoming a teacher for the Primus?
Does the term speaker mean anything to you?
He kind of sits back. I don't. Aside from the common ones, no. Why?
As a point of order, at least a pentadrone has referred to me as such.
The speaker. Well, you must be a very good one.
I hope so. I'm just going to start rolling up the map, and I'll stand up. And if he doesn't stop me to go, oh, good day, teacher. I believe, I hope, I can find one more individual.
Good day, speaker.
Good day.
I hope you find that person as well.
I shove the map into the haversack.
Into the magic pocket.
And I'm going to spend up to the next 2 hours looking for a very, very specific tiefling.
Okay. Roll me. So that tiefling, because I don't think you can actually forget things. So you remember the last time you heard about this tiefling he was the one who reported several people missing. He was being drunk and disorderly. Give me a history check. So here's what we can do. You can do a history check to remember where you met him or where the prison is and start looking there. You can do a religion check if you want to look for the order that had the holy water. Or sorry, how do you want to look? Let me let you.
How do you want to look this?
How do you want to find this?
You said history or religion, correct?
History, religion, or just straight up survival to track somebody down.
Okay, well, survival's a +0. Both history and religion are a +2, and I just rolled a nat 20. So,
what do you want to do? How do you want to find this?
You know what? Drunk and disorderly. Let's go to the prison.
Okay. Okay, so you make your way over. It's not a full-sized prison. It's definitely like jail-shaped. Couple of cells. There's a drunk tank. It's basically like you've been a shit. The guards bring you in. There's a couple of these guardhouses, and you start making your way through a couple of these. Roll a d6 for me.
That is a 5.
Cool. So you search the first 4. You get through your first few with mixed success. What's your approach? Are you just kind of kicking down the door? Are you asking politely? What's your approach to these guard posts?
Guard posts ask politely. I'm not trying to distract them to go fight something bigger than they are. Polite.
Okay. So yeah, the couple of guards. There's some initial resistance, but if you mention the description of the person you're looking for, and they're like, oh yeah, you feel free to take a look. We don't have any tieflings in here today, and you search your first 4 without success. And we'll jump to the group at the boiling bottle, or having left the boiling bottle. And you guys make it to the outside of the whetstone. And it is lit. The door looks, it's lit, fam. Everything looks pretty normal. It's a little early, but the place looks open. The forge is going. You can see smoke coming out of the forges this morning. And the door is unlocked when you go up to it.
Just give it a good old tap tap.
The door swings open, and you hear the clanging of hammer on anvil all from the side. And after, there's nobody in the tap room as you guys enter.
Ed, where are you at, my guy?
I'm working! Just come on in and give yourself a drink. I'll be right there. Clang, clang, clang.
I give myself a drink.
That sounds like a plan.
I want to stand on the not patron side of the bar, though.
You want to stand behind the bar?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I like appear in front of Ronan and just try to scare him? Because I'm still invisible.
Give me give me a stealth check to get in front of him without him hearing.
$13.
Ronan. Yeah, so you beat his passive perception, so you're able to get like right up in front of him. And Keelix like kind of feels you sneak off, and he's just like, and he takes his spear and goes and just grabs he sits next to Maury and Frank. And so Ronan, as you turn around with your drink, you finished your beer.
My beer is finished when he appears in front of me?
You finished pouring your beer. Thrall, describe to me your majestic appearance. Are you just sitting in the chair in front of him? Are you just like gonna wait till he's like about to drink and just pop up?
Is he facing like out of the bar?
He's
like,
poured the beer. He's poured the beer and is turning, and is facing out into the rest of the tap room.
Can I be crouched on top of the counter, right where he would be at like eye level?
Give me another stealth check. Because to get up onto the bar is a
17.
lot. Okay, yeah, no, you're like perched, and because of the height difference, you're currently at like eye level with him when you're crouched on top of the bar.
So Thrall appears before my eyes. I backhand him. I go and slap. Do I have to roll for backhand?
You take as a reflex action. Roll a d4.
D4.
It's an unarmed strike. If you go monk, it's like a d6, which I don't recommend. Kill people when you're jumping.
Yeah, it's a 2.
Okay. So Thrall, you take this giant backhand across the face, and you keep your balance, but like your cheek's bruised, and it actually kind of splits your cheek. And you hear, as you're like kind of rubbing at it and feeling the blood, you hear Dancer just go, all right, that was funny. And then you just, the cut just heals up.
Don't scare me like that. That's quite rude. I kind of slam my cup down on the bar.
You also,
Slap was
Ronan,
unnecessary.
Ronan, you did notice that like you opened up probably like an inch or two gash across his cheek, and then it just knitted itself closed.
I'm gonna poke it.
Like right after he did it.
What was this? What was this thing? I hurt you and now you're not hurt. What's up with that? My guy.
The dancer. She helps me.
That's creepy.
You're telling me.
See, the furry boy thinks it's creepy. I bet angry gnome boy thinks it's creepy too.
Yes, creepy.
Should get that looked at. It's not normal. Drink
Sometimes.
my drink. You have a condition.
Son, you've got a condition. So after, as this is wrapping up, you hear the clatter of a hammer hitting like a work table, and Ed comes out with a leather apron on, a pair of goggles that now look very familiar and very similar to what Thalia was wearing earlier today. And he's like, "Oh, well, good morning.
Good morning.
I see you actually followed instructions for once and helped yourself."
That's what you told us to do.
Yeah, you followed instructions. That's what I'm surprised about.
Oh.
So, what can I do you for?
I'm just gonna take Lythar's package and just like hold it out and be like, Lythar wanted me to give this to you.
All right,
Sir.
put it on the bar
I
and
put
get
it
out
on
from
the
behind it.
Oh. I'll put it on the bar and get out from behind it.
And, sir, if you're gonna stand on the bar, at least take off your shoes.
I would. I don't know if I would rather have feet bar or shoe bar.
Feet or footprints are easier to clean off than boot marks.
Interesting.
It's pure convenience.
Sounds like you speak from experience.
Oh, you seen this place?
I have.
If you want to do anything funky with your boots, the tap dancing section of the floor is over there. And he points, and there is a piece of floor that has like a mirror sheen to it. And he's like, "I just do anything you want over there. Like, that's fine. That's super easy to clean. It doesn't mark." That's speaking from experience. But anyway. And he takes a, he's like, "Well, what the hell is this?" And he opens it, and you see, kind of bundled together, you see all of these metal feathers that Lythar had taken from the rock. And he goes, "I didn't know better. I think these came from a real bird."
They did.
The big one.
And he's like, pulls the feather, and he's like, "You're serious?"
Yes.
And he kind of gently sets it down and picks up another and does an inspection. He goes, "What?"
Do you want more? And I just fling my backpack over my shoulder and pull out 15 pounds of bird feathers.
And the beak and the talons, and he's like, "Okay. First things first. First customer, one at a time." And he flips open Lythar's note, and he's like, "Lythar, did you say anything about a dragon in your note? Or did you just give him a description of what you wanted?"
About a dragon?
Yeah. Did you mention that why you want this made, or you were just like, "Can you make this?"
Well, it's not just for the dragon. It's for nibbling my bimble. And
Yeah. Basically, did you mention the D word?
should I have? I don't know.
That's up to you.
Dad, I'm
um,
scared. No, I feel
Same.
like I would have just been like, hey,
Hey, I've got these. Can you make me a
can
cool
you
thing?
do this? I want to like explain the you know what I'm talking
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know if you'd mentioned like, hey, we're going to fight a dragon, and I want this thing made.
Nah, because I don't know who knows about the dragon stuff. So.
Okay. So he's like, okay, couple of days. Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. Well, that's a project. And tucks the note into his thing. He goes, so, all right. So you have a lot of. You just want me to make stuff from this?
I don't know.
He had an order. He wanted me to make something. Do you just want to show me all your shiny
Sir,
stuff?
are you feeling okay? You're sounding quite a bit crackly.
Sorry, it's a there's a thing.
Oh, things are bad, especially these days. You know, you wanna make sure you gargle your salt water in the morning and you
Should
know.
you take your vitamins?
Well, the vitamins are fine. I still have my sense of taste and smell, so I think I'm okay. So, anyway, what do you want me to do with this? And he gestures to like the beak and all of the other pieces. He's like, do you just have shit?
Yeah, do you want these? Do you want the feathers?
Yeah, probably.
Because I don't know what to make with them.
All right.
Do you buy things?
I buy things all the time. You buy things. You buy beer from me.
I do.
That's how this economy works.
But generally speaking, yes.
Yes.
How much do you think these are worth? Because I frankly have no idea. I'm a master barterer. I'm a master debater, as they say.
I don't think they actually say that. Let me tell you what. You guys have a beer. Tell me where the hell you got these, and I'll do some appraising. And we can do that as a quick time jump so we don't rehash that episode for like the 6th time.
You're a robot again. Well, you see, Lythar thought he was really cool and shot the bird down from the sky when all of us were like, ah, bird, and then we ran away, and then he was like, kapew, and then the bird fell down, and then we went over, and then Furry Boy went and stabbed it.
No, I'm really not interested. So here's the thing. For all of these, considering they're technically a one-of-a-kind item, this beak looks used.
I have used it. I want to keep the beak.
All right. Okay, sorry. You put it on my table with all the other shit that you were trying to sell me.
I mean...
Sorry. Items of interest. People get real sensitive when you say their stuff is shit.
Well, my things are stuff, but if someone else is referring to someone else's things, then it's shit. That's how it works.
Oh. You'd think they would have taught me that. Anyway, for all the feathers and the other things, I'll give it like 250 gold.
I'll take it.
Fair enough. And he, like, takes his leather apron, sweeps all the gubbins into it, and is like, I'll be right back, and walks over into the other room. You hear a clink of, like, a bunch of metal things hitting the floor, and then he comes back with a coin purse and chucks it to you.
Yay!
Yes. All right, well, was there anything else?
So, we're trying to get through the door.
Oh, right, we talked about... Yeah. All right.
So we know there's 3 locks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about a certain lock?
The first one?
Or the second, or the third one? Any of them?
Well, because I believe Thalia and he had a conversation about it a while back. So he's like, well, I talked to the smart girl that you guys seem to hang out with. I talked to the brains of the organization. No offense to you.
It's true.
And we had the idea because she wanted me to look into my history, and it turns out several generations back, my mother's family line can be traced back to this city. So from what Miss Thalia and I had been chatting about, I might be able to help you with that first one. And I have been trying to make something special to go deal with that dragon. in the event you guys got the other things open. If not, I just have a really big thing that I can hang above the bar and scare patrons off with.
So if we went to the door, do you think you could get that lock open?
Well, from what Thali was telling me, I have to basically recite my lineage back, and that should do it. Which, from a dwarf perspective, makes sense. You know, what the family is 90% of everything for us. And if you want something to be locked away, something that is in a dwarf, you make it so a dwarf has to recite the entire lineage that he has memorized from the age of 3.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a family thing. And then they keep adding families to it. Anyway, I can help with that one. I'm not so sure about the other two.
Any tips on where to look?
No. Which one? Pick which lock would you be more interested in asking about?
The extinguishing flame one.
Well, if there's flame that's been burning since this door was shut, it's probably magical of some kind. There's too many different ways to make a magic flame. It could be real flame, could be alchemist fire, could be an illusion that looks like fire. It could be an actual piece of hellfire that can only be put out under very specific and exacting circumstances, which is why you never make a forge that uses hellfire. Ever.
Make a note of that. So you're saying we need an anti-magic fire bucket?
Yeah, it could be anything. Yeah. It's probably, all I can really tell you without seeing it myself is it's probably magical.
One could say a dispel water bucket.
That'd be the first thing I'd make not work on it, honestly.
Cool.
Does anyone have a copy of that riddle?
I don't.
Yeah, and I will use. The heck is my? I can't remember what the spell is called.
There was a spider on
magical
me.
tinkering, and I will kind of like emit the letter, kind of like either on the bar or in the air, whichever.
Using your chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, like the actual is it translated, or is it the actual dwarven text that you're throwing up on the bar?
The actual dwarven text.
Okay. So he takes a look at it and goes, "Oh, okay, right, okay, interesting. Oh God, that makes too much sense." Yeah, this is definitely Ragaran's stuff. That man was a stickler for tradition. But this looks like 3 things that a dragon couldn't do.
That's what
Or someone who worships a dragon couldn't do. I have no idea about the third one, whatever that means. All I know is you offer in faith, and the only thing dragons think that they're gods themselves. So, no dragon would be able to offer anything to open the door for another dragon. So, that's all I've got.
I think you've helped out a little bit more than you think.
Well, tell you what, let me know when you're going to go down and test that door, because you need me, and I'll pack up my gear and I'll come with you.
Sounds like a plan. I'm excited to see this whip of yours.
Anyway. How's Trix? Anything exciting aside from the explosion happening? And I almost got kidnapped. That wasn't fun.
Sorry. My fault.
Yeah, almost. You should have seen the other guys. It's fine. Everything's fine. No,
Interested in red by any chance?
No, nobody in red. Would have made it really easy to. They were red when, no, nobody in red. There was a huge... So here, because you guys seem to be in the most amount of trouble of any group of people I've ever met, including me.
Yeah, you're right.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about those explosions from the other day.
No.
Because you were there.
Which explosions?
Don't bullshit me.
Well, no, I'm seriously asking which ones.
And
There were
he's like,
plenty of explosions.
hold on. And he goes back and he pulls out a bucket. A galvanized bucket filled with molten steel that is glowing with white light. And he goes, and he sets it on the bar, and it's actually leaving like a kind, you see like the varnish on the bar is starting to smoke. Thrall, you feel very uncomfortable with this bucket right there, and you're not sure if it's you, because you remember feeling this way the last time you saw it, but that was more Dancer than you. Now it feels like that you're both feeling nervous about it. You're not sure if it's spilling over.
What's that?
Man, this, and he taps the side of the bucket. He goes, this appears to be approximately 78 pounds of iron and a cup of iron, carbon, and a few other things that has remained hot and liquid for about 48 hours. And incredibly holy. So the beak and all the other impossible things you've brought me are only the second most impossible thing I've seen this week. So, what... I'm very curious about what exactly happened from your side of things, because the dick wizard up there doesn't tell me it.
Dick wizard.
Eats a dick.
Also, and he looks over to you, Thrall, and goes, you look nervous. Why are you nervous about this? And he starts pushing it towards you, like sliding the bucket down the bar. He goes, you look nervous. Free. And he like stops pushing and goes, now what the hell is that about?
Just getting some weird feelings going on here. I don't like it.
Nice sword. And he goes and walks behind the bar and pours himself a drink.
Have you tried putting anything in that?
Like what?
Like a sword, and I pull out a long sword. That's just, I just have one. Can I dip this in that and see what happens?
Go ahead. You will be... Go ahead.
Well, now I don't want to, because it seems like you know what it does.
Am I hiding behind my bar?
Yes.
You're right. And he pops the glasses down and goes, do it, go ahead.
I'm going to slide a couple of chairs that way.
Shift down the bar. Go ahead, Brandon.
I'm also going to move down that way.
Keelik is standing there. He's kind of looking at the bar, like looking at the bucket, and he kind of looks at Frank, and Frank kind of looks at him, and then they go off following each of you.
Ah, fuck it. I dip it in the thing.
Okay, so you dunk it in, and it doesn't sink that deep. This is like it's a wide, not a deep bucket. But it sinks in and hits, and you hear it go clink, or like the thunk as it hits the bottom of the bucket, and it just goes, wait for it, wait for it, and as it sits there, you feel it kind of sinking in to the bucket.
What if I pull it out and just like let it hadangle over the bucket?
When you pull it out, the metal, there's parts of the sword look like they've been eaten away, but they're glowing. It looks almost like there's the tip is mostly gone and is leaving like this. It's not a jagged edge. It looks like it's been splashed with something, but there's specks of it further up the blade, and there are parts where the blade was completely submerged that are undamaged.
Is the blade still melting?
It is when you pull it out, the where that edge gets a little more defined, and the spots continue to just like burn away, and then eventually they stop, and like the glow kind of recedes from the room, and Thrall, you hear Dancer go, "Keep me away from that."
All right.
Thank you.
So, Thrall, you don't like the bucket.
No.
I'm gonna wave the sword, like, in Thrall's direction. Does he not like the sword now, either?
The sword feels, as it swings towards you, like, now it just looks like a kind of just like a normal mundane sword. As he swings it towards you, there's no swing of, like, holiness towards you. It just feels like a broken sword. There is no, and as you're looking at it a little closely, you see there's no edge on this sword, but there's no smell. The bar doesn't smell any different.
So this doesn't
That
weird you
sword
out.
doesn't feel any different. That sword, no.
Well, there went that idea. I thought we could dip a sword in here and make it fancy and holy and shit, but I guess not. So I'm just gonna throw the rest of the sword in the bucket and let it melt.
So as it hits, it sits on top of the bucket. It sits on top of this pool of glowing hot metal, but not all of it melts away. You continue to see, like, the the hand wrap, the pommel parts of the crossguard. There's little, like, splashes. Ronan, anyone who's near enough, which I think is just Ronan at this point, to see into the bucket, give me a perception check. Or investigation.
Things I'm good at.
Actually, let me... how's your survival, actually?
Survival's better than those.
Do survival.
Survival is plus
Yep.
3, so 17.
Cool. So you're looking and you're seeing, like, the edges eat away. The crossguard starts to eat away. Underneath the leathers, parts of the leathers are melting and burning away, but parts of them aren't. Which is unusual. But you're also looking and it looks like the pommel has specks on it, and you're seeing these weird, like, this spray. It looks like a spray pattern. You had a 17?
Yeah.
It looks like blood spray. Like if you hit something with a sword and you stabbed into the sword, blood doesn't go all the way up the blade. And if you cut somebody with it, if you hit somebody with the pommel, like, you're starting to see where blood would have landed on this sword when it didn't sink into somebody.
Do you have a knife or a sword that hasn't killed or almost killed anyone yet?
Yeah, I got a brand new one. Give me a second. And he walks back, comes out with a brand new sword in its scabbard, sets it on the bar.
I'm gonna unsheath it and poke it in the liquid.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Well, la-dee-da. That's interesting. Have you figured this out already?
And he pulls up the goggles and goes, "You caught on quicker than I did. I'll tell you that much."
So now I'm gonna wave this sword at Thrall and be like, is this one creepy?
There's no... Again, it feels
No.
like a completely normal sword.
Well, this is dumb. We just have a holy bucket of stuff that only eats stuff that's killed people.
Why are you trying to terrorize me?
You terrorized me.
I scared you one time.
I feel like you've scared me more than that. At least 6.
That's a bit excessive.
Moriad turns to you and goes, "So what do you think?"
Kind of interested to see what would happen if we dumped Thrall's sword in there, but I doubt that would happen.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Who's Ghost Rider?
It's a ghost. It's a rider.
Oh, like on a horse?
Sure.
Are you talking about Headless Herbert?
Herbert.
Yeah, it's a ghost story.
Oh,
He's supposed to ride around a couple of towns. Like, he had a route that he normally ran, and he just got his head cut off, but he didn't notice, so he just kept his ghost thinks he's still alive, and he just rides around.
is the horse also
It's a
ghost?
it's a whole thing. I don't believe any of it.
Finding plot holes in this story.
Yeah, that's why I don't believe it. But yeah. So, if you can explain how the hell this bucket happened, I would be very, very intrigued.
Was this the first explosion?
This was for you guys, this was the second explosion. This is the stuff that you actually helped collect this, Maury. When the Lamy melted his chest piece of the shields of the Sane armor.
Okay.
That's the one you're looking at. It. You get closer and you realize that that's what this is. And so with him asking how the hell we got to this place, unless you guys have any other conversations, if you have any conversations you want to have with Ed, think on it. We'll be back to you guys after we jump back to the Dude Bros in the Brotherhood.
Dude bros.
So, what questions do you have for the
Do we
DM? that
each
you'd
get
like
3?
Do we each
Um,
get or
Because that changes our game plan.
I'll give each of you 2.
okay?
We didn't
because
plan
I
for
didn't-
this.
Because I didn't explain that well.
We
So
didn't
that's
plan
on
for
me.
this
I'll give-
situation.
I'll give
fine,
each
it's
of
fine.
you. I'll give each of you 2, and then if you have inspiration to burn, I will let you burn your inspiration for a third question.
I don't.
So make them count. You have 5 questions between the 2 of you and 3 hours to do the research.
What is our quest?
Oh, we know the quest. Kill the dragon.
What is the dragon's favorite
all
color?
right, go for it. Go for it,
Probably
Kendrick.
red.
I'm gonna say this, but I need confirmation from Thalia or from Rachel if we agree upon these choices. So I guess
You're also you can ask selfish questions because you can be off doing research on your own. This
No,
is
I-
kind of a time skip.
no, yeah, I just mean so. Can I research the weakness / strengths of a red dragon as one of our tokens?
I can give you a general overview, weaknesses or strengths.
What do we want?
Uh,
Weaknesses?
Weaknesses is a minimum. We talked about getting a general overview also, but your questions.
I don't know.
At a minimum, ask about the weaknesses.
Follow the heart of the cards, Kendrick.
Weaknesses.
Okay.
I still have to roll, don't I?
Give
I
yes.
didn't. Yeah. I should. You were about to just give us information.
Well,
Why
no,
not?
because you guys are spending 3 hours, and Rachel, if you're doing this research together, with Rachel's tablet, the Control F tablet, you guys will be able to find a lot of your information.
Oh.
It was if you're gonna go off and do your own thing, then that becomes a slightly bigger, a little more digging. So weaknesses of a red dragon. There's nothing there. I like the idea of Lythar just like, I found a pen. I don't know how it works, but I'm going to use it. They are. There's not anything necessarily that they are weaker to. You do know that they are pretty heavily. Their scales are very hard to punch through. There's no. There are stories going back about like, oh, they use ice on it and they use water, and then there are stories that are like, no, nothing really works, especially not fire.
Don't use fire.
Well, there goes all my fireballs.
No twin fireballs for you fuckers.
It's just because you hate me.
It's not because I hate you. It's because I need to force you in a different direction.
This isn't that character.
Not yet. Anyway, so next question.
You go.
Oh God. I would like. I'll let you figure out how specific I have to be. I want to look into the city of Durganvor, either its history, like the characteristics of it. I doubt there's going to be a map in the Brotherhood, but like.
Okay. There are, going back a very long time, you find, actually it's in an old trade journal, where people are talking. You find like a trader's log about Durganvor and how it is effectively like it's a full-sized city underground, that when he was there probably 30 years before Firanax rolled in, it was expanding. It was continuing to grow and expand out in different directions, but they had to basically tunnel their way. They found a cave. It started out as a small town, started trading among some of the... there were some trade set up, and it started to grow. According to this report, it's about the same size as Corumvor is now, as far as just like population and rough information that the trader is giving you. And extrapolating size of things with a little bit of legwork and figuring out. It's actually a mention of how many blacksmiths there are in the city that helps determine the size of the city, because a city doesn't need too many blacksmiths unless it's in that industry. No luck on a map. You do know one of the things that this guy actually mentions is a enormous hall where the dwarven leaders would have, where they basically like their town hall, their central gathering place, and there were statues, these incredibly impressive and incredibly detailed statues of the dwarven kings and leaders that had been in this city. And they were standing proudly as like a memorial statue with their weapons drawn, crossed across their chest. All of them standing very proudly, and you would walk past all of them to meet with the ruler, with the king of Durganvor.
Like the throne, basically?
Basically, yeah. Kind of like the throne room. Yeah, that's the word I actually wanted. And it was just this huge, opulent thing, but it's in the center of town, and anyone could come in an effort to try and, like, if you wanted to have an audience with the king, with King Ragarin, you could. And that's what this trader actually, like, he had an audience with King Ragarin.
Huh.
And so he goes on. It's a little obnoxiously poetic, but you know, he was in basically a dwarven castle, so he was a little excited about it.
We got two more now.
Mm-hmm.
Two more. I do have inspiration, so if you wanted to ask another question, we can.
Well, we both get two, right?
We both get two,
You
and
both
then
have, because
We
you
have
both
one
asked
more.
one, so you both have one question left, and Rachel can burn her inspiration.
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
fifth.
While they're asking, can you unplug and replug? I hate to keep being a plug dick, but
It's literally, I have no idea what happened.
Kendrick, what were we gonna ask?
Can I
Get
ask,
some isopropyl and pour it down there.
Curtis, before Lythar chooses a question, I'm going to ask you a question.
Mhm.
Would researching... So I asked you about weaknesses of a red dragon.
Correct.
Would researching characteristics of a red dragon kind of be the same thing?
I would need something. Are you looking for like a personality? Like, are you looking for like a Tinder profile, or are you looking for like?
I'm looking for a Bumble profile. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, you kind of answered my question anyway. What
Because
about-
characteristics could go a lot of different ways.
Yeah,
I would be
yes,
happy to
you're
give that information.
What should I ask about Fearnax specifically, Rachel?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Researching Fearnax specifically.
Okay.
The big boy.
So, Control F, Fearnax. You find your way into a portion of the Brotherhood, just zoology. You start flipping through, and you find an older just book on dragons in general. And there's
drawings?
Hmm?
Are there any drawings of him?
No.
Dang, we got no visual, ladies and gentlemen.
However, they do mention this was published before Fearnax. Apparently, before Fearnax came south, because originally he had been up, living up in a subsection of the mountains, fairly isolated. Because he was like, there were rumors that there was a dragon up in these hills, and everyone just kind of left it alone because the world's dangerous enough as it is. But you do know he's a red dragon. At the time of this writing, he was a young adult. So like probably just based on size, he was still a juvenile.
How long ago is this?
300 years.
That was it, this book. This one was about like 300 years or so.
He was a
before.
younging then.
Yes.
Or not?
So rough age for Fearnax is about 325, 350, plus or minus a decade. Which,
Also, not to try to rig any of this, me having dragons as a favorite enemy and all that, does that assist any of my?
that's helping because like 300 years
Like,
is
I know
about
how dragons work.
300 years is definitely a fully mature is an adult. This is it's had 300 years underground to grow and make it. You also know with sort of this information that's been enough time for it to have really made itself a home. So it
Wow, you're really trying to kill us, aren't you? Chris. Okay. I literally wrote 325 to 350 years old adult, so we fucked. That was my mental thought when you said that.
Yep, that's fair. So yeah, and matching with the rest of what you've been able to dig up, Fearnax has basically disappeared. Everyone believed that he was dead, that he crossed into some other dragon's territory and got either chased off or eaten himself by something bigger.
And it is, in
Always a bigger
fact,
dragon.
a male, right?
Yes.
That is
Yes.
100%? Okay.
100% a dude.
Because what if, like, he wasn't, and all of a sudden we were dealing with a whole different thing? I don't know if male and female dragons are different at all. I feel like females would be bigger and just, like, kill you easier.
They're both angry. All right, Miss Thalia, your final question before we have to burn inspiration.
I want to know what love. I'm gonna look up ways to. I can't think of the word. Ways to put out magical fire.
Okay. This comes back with a whole lot of different things. And so this takes a little bit of sifting through. And it hits a couple of things that Ed had mentioned where if the fire is an illusion, you dispel the illusion, you make an illusionary bucket of illusory water and dump that illusion on top of the other illusion. Or you can just if it's an illusion, depending on how it's made, you might have to just unravel it at the source. There are magical fires that will burn forever, unless they are tampered with. There is a brief note in a history about using hellfire in a forge, and how, in theory, it burned down a city somewhere. Unconfirmed rumors, but that's the idea. You also get But yeah, sometimes they're like it's a magical fire, it just burns forever, but acts like normal fire. Putting water on it might work if you can get.
We're technically, even though that's her question, she's research. Like I'm there looking at the same stuff as well, right?
Correct.
Okay, I want to say something, but first of all, do an experiment for me. Get really close to your mic and talk, like closer.
Hello.
Now back up.
Hello.
I think the crackling is from you being close.
Anyway, okay. I'll just keep my head a little further away then.
I think that what it might be.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Also,
Solved it.
something that's even nicer.
I blame Josh.
Reading about this, researching how to put out magical fire. I'm gonna put my hand on my hip, and then I'm gonna look over at Thalia, and I'm just gonna be like, I just thought of something.
What?
My daggers can create food and water, magical water. What if I could use the magical water to put out this flame?
If it's an illusion, that might not work. But if it's magical flame, strong possibility? It's the best I can give you right now.
Let's keep
Have to
that-
test it. Definitely worth testing.
Definitely. And I'll make food for us at the time so we can eat. It's a win-win.
Yes?
Yeah. I'm just gonna awkwardly be like, in my head, I'm gonna be like, I thought that was a great idea.
It is. Thalia is
Thalia,
the research head.
you also, Thalia, you also remember that the food he made last time he did this was not the most delicious. It was filling, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Love the spread.
Does magical pudding have a higher chance of putting out magical flame than magical water?
Anyway, Rachel, do you have a final question for me?
I do. I'm going to burn my inspiration. And
Get my camera to focus.
I'm going to look at Lythar. I know you want to know more about Vint. But we only have enough time to do look up one more thing, and it's I can look up Vint, or I can try to look up something I think I can turn into that might help us.
I'm gonna get that wolfish grin, and I'm just gonna be like, I appreciate you offering that up, but I've seen you turn into some scary ass shit, and you almost turned me into a Medusa, so you go find out if you can turn into whatever the heck you're thinking of.
Okay. Then in that case, Curtis, this will be the reasoning of why I have this in my polymorph document.
Okay.
I'm looking up black dragons.
Excellent.
Now we have 2 dragons.
And with that, so in my head, you're like, all right, cool. And you go just further into the zoology section. Dragon, green, red, blue, white, black. And you pull the book down. And that's where we would cut to commercial. So let's take a break, everybody.
Yay!
Yay!
Are black dragons the most dragon?
No, but
Red dragons are by far the most dragon.
a young black dragon is a CR7, so I can polymorph into a black dragon.
Well, that's terrifying.
Acid breath is a straight line.
It is a straight line. It's not a cone. It is a 30 feet that way.
As soon as I got polymorph, saw I could turn into a dragon. I was like, Curtis?
Mike,
There's
Tesla
also-
on camera.
I want to see the dog.
Anyway, so before we take a break, there's a Tesla.
Tesla.
Aw, she's adorable.
Aww.
That's the thumbnail. She's our newest player.
Dogs win everything.
There's Cora, everybody.
Cool. So excellent. Let's take a 15.
Cool.
I'm feeling a 15.
40. 35.
That is 9:40. That's correct.
Yes.
That's how time works.
Dope.
So, we're back after talking about more reptiles. Weirdly enough.
Dragon with no legs.
No, it's a no-legged dragon that takes a long time to eat you.
Have
Python.
you guys seen an Atredicoana?
No. No. No.
After. Not right now. We just
Okay.
got back. Mike and I have early work tomorrow morning, so we're gonna move this along. So we left off with Thalia and Lythar answering a couple of somewhat important questions.
Some.
They're fairly important questions. So, Robbie, your 5th prison visit, you meet a guard, and at this point, a guard, they kind of got on the horn and let each other know that you're looking for somebody. So through the rain, he sees you approach because you're still wearing the duster, which is, a little.
Also Two-Face.
Yeah, it's a little unique as a fashion statement. He walks up and goes, "Hello there. I believe you're looking for this ruffian here. Come on in, get out of the rain." Ushers you inside. As you come in, there's a drunk tank. It looks the exact same as all the other shacks, and goes, "Well, do you want to take responsibility for this one?" And he kind of kicks at the bench where this red-skinned tiefling is just like,
How much to pay for his crimes?
honestly, just get him out of here. He's taking up that's my bench.
Excellent.
Hey,
And I'm
wake up.
actually gonna, I'm going to attempt with my 8 strength to pick him up and shoulder him.
Give me a strength check.
Fireman. Do.
I love it when the guy with a -1 rolls for strength.
Uh-huh. So total 14.
Okay. So it's you go in and you pick him up and you go, "Where are we going? What's what? Oh no." And he starts to lean at it. It's not a clean lift. By the time you get him up on your shoulder, he's conscious and he's unhappy about it. And as you're leaving the guard, you kind of get him up over your shoulder. And as you're leaving the guard post, the guy's like, "Very well, have a good evening and stay out of trouble." And you hear the tiefling go, "Whoa!" and just puke behind you as you leave. He's like, "Oh no!" and the door shuts.
How close is it to the nearest fountain?
Give me a history check.
Oh God.
How well do you remember the city?
No, but that's a 2+ whatever, so no.
So you're actually up kind of close to Cat's Cradle. You've made your way to the northern chunk of the city. And there's no fountains. There are a lot of horse troughs. There are
Great.
also some
I'm just going
large
to toss him into one.
Don't give me.
Don't come into a horse trough.
There's a huge splash, and he's just he comes up and he's floating on his back, and he comes up to the surface and he cracks an eye open and goes, "I was having the nicest nap."
While I do not understand what a nice nap is, I have heard that this is the best way to handle somebody who is intoxicated.
Yeah, well, and he kind of rubs his eyes a little bit. And he's like, "Well, that's not.
And
Who
I'm gonna,
taught you that?"
and I'm just gonna pull out the flask, hand it to him, and go, "Hair of the dog?"
He takes it and goes, "This is my patch."
Yes, I believe the custom that I was taught was to
And
hand each other.
he just takes it and just pounds it back and goes, sorry, go on.
I believe we can move past that point.
Mm.
I have some very important questions to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with your time speaking with, I believe you called her the lady or the mother.
Hold on. I'm too sober to remember. Give me a second. And he seals up the flask you gave him, pulls out a larger one, and just cracks it open. And this one, he just like takes it, just goes, shuts it, puts it away. He goes, sorry, yes. What was the question?
I was just recently speaking with a very interesting teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He teaches about mechanics. I understand that your lady is not the same as my deity. But since you have...
Go on, sorry. Go.
Hello. I believe that you may be able to shed some light on the question of why my deity's plane may be bleeding into the material plane.
Why me?
Well, I would like to ask the group as a whole.
That's right. I remember you from the meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. How'd you get my batch of stuff?
I believe that you offered it to me as an exchange of hellos. Is that not the custom?
That's why I couldn't find it. Yeah, no, that's okay. Well, thanks for this back. You were asking, sorry, about my mother? No.
I cannot remember what you called her, but when you spoke with your deity...
Oh, auntie. And he just like, for the first time, his skin kind of reddens a little bit, and he looks more like a normal red tiefling. And it's not until you see the color change that you realize he looks awful. He's much paler. He looks like shit. He looks like he's been on a bender and hasn't fallen off it yet. Oh, why does everybody care about Auntie?
Oh, I do not care about her.
Why are you asking?
Because I believe your experience with her may be able to shed some light on the experience that I am currently having.
Mm.
Did I explain to you, Mechanus, when we first met? You would not remember. It does not matter.
No, it's your god. He's all shiny and chrome, and it's all the good of the world, and everyone is it's a good place. They wouldn't want me there. It's fine.
If you would look at half of my body, you would see what I am talking about.
That's a nice look.
Thank you.
Can I have that coat?
Later. It has a very important pocket that I must keep for now.
You can keep just the pocket. Anyway, and he just like takes another drink, and when he takes the drink out of the small flask that you return to him, his color shifts back a little bit, and he's just like, okay, right, Auntie. Can we not do this in the rain?
If it bothers you, we can move indoors.
That would be nice.
What's the nearest door?
There is what looks like a granary.
Awesome. I'm going to start knocking on it.
He's like, "There's... What are you doing, buddy?
You said you wished to be out of the rain.
There's nobody in there. Just here." And he walks over and very casually just makes like a little ball of flame, shoves it up to the doorknob, melts it, and swings the door open and turns off the flame as he goes in.
I will have to remember that.
As he walks in, the light coming through the door, you see his skin is red again, and he reaches into the pocket, takes a swing, and it settles back again. He's like, "All right, come on." And he sits down on what looks like a stack of seed bags.
Basically, I believe that you were the last remaining member of the group that might shed some light onto why a different plane, a plane occupied by a deity, would be seeping into the material plane. According to the teacher, Mechanus has never been known to seep into this world. And I have found a holy pool which connected me directly to it.
Weird.
You have had experience crossing planes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I never want to go family reunions.
May I ask, who is Auntie?
Auntie Lash? Well, she's, and kind of gestures he's like, well, she's a demon. And I'm related. Can't you tell? It's a good look, I promise. He's like, I only go between planes when she asks me to, and it's not even an ask. I just end up there every once in a while. Usually after I drink a little too much, my heart stops. So now I've learned how to get real close. You learn that after a while. But anyway, yeah, leaking. Can you give me a second?
Is it for a leak?
He doesn't wait for a response. He just kind of stumbles off. And a few minutes later stumbles back. He's like, okay. Sorry. It's the trough water. Anyway. What was the question? Leaking, right. Yeah. Anytime that Auntie wants to pay a visit, she opens a door, opens a hole, grabs me, and shuts it behind her.
Could you take me to see Auntie?
Right now?
Is it convenient?
No. It's never convenient. I've spent too many lifetimes trying to avoid her.
Then yes, now.
Make a persuasion check.
Oof. 17.
He's like, okay. Fine. You said why can't you ask anybody else to do this?
You are the last one left.
They'll leave again.
They are dead.
Yeah, they're coming back.
We shall find out.
All right. Do you want to do this or should I do this?
I believe you are the one with the connection.
No, I mean, do you want to kill me or do I have to do it myself?
Oh. And I'm just going to summon the sword.
Oh, God. Never mind. Here. And he shakes off the sleeve of his coat and goes, hold on to this. And he pulls out the larger flask. And instead of just sniffing, just goes, this is going to be expensive. And just gives a huge pull. And you see his skin just like flash white. Like all the color just leaches out of him. And there's a choking. Like he kind of grabs at his chest. There's this choking. And he falls back.
We're losing you.
He tilts back over.
Oh, you're still warbly and weird.
Your mic sounds like it's having a poop.
Have you tried submerging it in water?
Poopy mic. Poopy mic.
Or the Primus pool, that might work.
Yeah, that'll do it. Then my mic becomes sentient. Hi, Mike. So as he tilts, he takes this drink and he stiffens up and he tilts back over. It would be comical if he hadn't literally just committed suicide in front of you. And he just topples back over, and the coat drags you with him, and you go over the sea bag, and you just like you fall through into darkness. You just.
Well, not darkness, but
Not dark. Like you. So as you're falling through, you see for a split second the body falling. His face looks very much like, for those of you who've read Hitchhikers, it's the bowl of petunias going, oh no, here we go again. And you're like, no, and you fall through. And Robbie, as you're falling, you realize you are descending. You are falling.
you're warbly again, like real bad.
You're like underwater. Are
Yeah.
you having a phantom power issue? Is that a thing? It like your mic is just fading, and like you're a dying robot.
Well, he's not getting slower. That isn't
Well,
how microphones work.
You know what I mean.
Better?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Great. I hope this holds out. So, Robbie, as you're falling, you see outside of your cone of vision, there's nothing around you, but you can see lights, and you see these massive spires of red flame as you are falling and falling and falling, basically tethered to this corpse of a tiefling. And as you get closer and closer, you start to see demons.
I still have the sword summoned, by the way.
Yes, as you're falling, like it's a very dramatic look where this guy is like Robbie is plunging from this hole in the sky, looking up, kind of confused as to why you're dropping in, attached to the body of a dead subject.
You're underwater again.
Sorry.
Sorry, buddy. I don't know what's going on.
You know, we sell XLR cables at work.
This episode is brought to you by Sheckler Woodworking. You too can own one of these dice trays full of dice. Look at all those dice.
It was a great shot there. It looked like just a board.
Yeah. You too can own a board.
So hilariously, I got this XLR cable from work, so I don't think it's the cable. It's I don't know what the hell it is. But anyway, so yeah, we'll cut away from Robbie plummeting towards an army of demons, because that's where Robbie went today. Boy, I wasn't expecting that. Who wants to go next? Josh, is there anything you want to do, or are you just hanging out with Evelyn still?
We're just hanging out. We're eating some food and just chatting.
So the conversation has shifted. There was a couple of awkward pauses where you've been like, well, man, there's like a couple of lulls in the silence. And she's like, so what about this cherry fairy? And then we'll cut to everybody at Ed's. Or, yeah, we'll go back to Yeah, Ed was first on the roster. So the group at Ed's. You guys have spent some time with the bucket and with Ed.
I want to try and buy some more explosive rounds. That's
Sure.
possible.
Oh no.
Yeah, how many are you looking to buy?
How much do they cost?
There's a bulk buy discount. If you buy 25 rounds, it's 25 gold.
That sounds like a deal.
Great. Yeah, you make the exchange, you get like a fairly... He actually gives it to you in like a single accent. Like it's basically in a pseudo bandolier. But so it fits across you. It only looks like there's 5, but every time you pull out a shell, another one pops in. So it's a constantly full bandolier.
Whoa, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Dig it.
Thrall and Ronan, what are you two up to?
I'll let Thrall go first.
I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm not real. I just kind of was tagging along. Tag along.
And after a couple of minutes of ribbing you about the bucket, he does take it back in the other room and set it down, so that way you can sit at the bar with everybody else. So
Ronan, did you get your thing?
My thing.
Weren't you coming to Ed's to get a thing?
I was coming to Ed's to get Ed.
yeah, and so
Take Ed
yeah,
from
we
the door.
can kind of cut back to that transaction, and Ed's like, well, you know where to find me. If you get that door open, or you're about to go get that door open, just let me know. We'll see what happens. I should have that gun if your buddy wants his cloak. If you swing by tomorrow and grab me, I should have the cloak done by then, and we'll come with you to the door. We'll get this thing open and kill ourselves a dragon.
Sweet.
That'd be something I could brag to my dad about.
Would be.
Oh, and you do? Oh, I sold a bunch of shit. I killed a dragon, Dad. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Makes the winter festival a little more exciting when I can bring back something good.
Here's a question for you before I go. And I take the beak and I slam it down on the bar. Can you cut this in half and make it so it can be attached to your forearm so you can punch people with them?
Yeah.
How much would that cost?
I have to cut into it first.
Okay.
I don't know if it's more like a bird beak. I don't know if it's bone or steel or some heretical combination of the two.
I did stuff to it at Lady Costs. Do I know if it's fully metal?
It's full, like, because you put handles on it basically, so you can carry it easier. The outs, as far as you got into it, it was metal.
Okay.
It was a little more It was a little more malleable than true metal, but it handled it a little weird.
Okay. Well, and then I'll just put down a short sword and a long sword and be like, I forgot about these. Do you want these?
Is this a donation to test the bucket?
You know what? Sure.
We appreciate charitable donations. And in fact, I'll knock off whatever the cost. I'll make it work. I'll knock off the costs, the price of those off of the project, because I need more things to test this bucket with.
Well, thank you.
Do you have anything that... Here's a question. Do you have anything bone? Anything that isn't metal that you've killed with?
Yes.
That I can test in the bucket.
And I pull out my hook chain, which is now just a hook. Thoughts?
I mean... I was thinking something smaller, because I don't know what's going to happen to this.
I don't know
Ed.
if I have...
Do you have chain?
Of course I got chain. How much?
Ronan, how much do I owe you? Is it 30 feet?
It was 30 feet indeed.
30 feet. Maybe that's why Ronan's being mean to me.
I'm not. You scared me. It's rude.
It's like, because I thought it was funny. Take gold for 30 feet. I can do that.
I'll do that, and I'll just hand it to Ronan, or Ed can hand it to Ronan.
Yep. So, congrats, Ronan. You have your chain back.
Cool. I mean, I have poisoned crossbow bolts.
Wood might be interesting. Can I take a couple of those?
Sure, how many do you want?
Yeah, give me like 5.
4. This is a donation, after all.
Fine, I'll take 4.
Okay.
Don't come to me if it doesn't work.
Alright.
Alright. Piss off. Come back tomorrow. I have work to do, I guess.
Good. You don't have any great swords laying around, do you?
All my swords are great.
No, I mean like big swords.
And he picks up the long sword, which looks a little big on him. He goes, "This is pretty big.
Bigger than that.
Want it back?" You have...
It's a yes or no question. You can say no.
I don't have any in stock.
Okay, then don't worry about it for now.
Okay.
If you find one, let me know. I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm gonna trip over it on my way back to the forge. Yeah, sure.
You never know.
I'll keep my eyes open for it.
Thanks.
Anywho,
I'm just gonna leave.
does he always just walk out like that?
Way more often than I'd like.
I'd say put him on a leash, but that's not really gonna work.
Too big for me.
Well, gentlemen, I have a project or two to do, but it was lovely to see you. I'm glad y'all are alive.
You too, I guess.
I'm gonna nod and go invisible.
He kind of is throwing the salute back, and you disappear. And he goes, "Could you always do that?"
Yes.
He's like, great. I'm gonna have to update security around here, and he just like walks off into the forge room. So, outside, where y'all headed next?
Back to the twist and shout is the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Unless
gonna
Maury
go
wants to
uninvis
talk
outside.
to me.
I'm gonna
Sorry, Brandon.
drop the invisibility outside. Well, everybody else.
Just stroll back. Okay. As you guys are walking back, there is a larger guard presence outside the boiling bottle. They're making a fair amount of ruckus. Give me stealth checks, everybody.
Natural 20.
Is that like 17 of those tonight? Or
There's a
what?
lot.
Yeah.
15 for me.
17
Okay.
for me.
What's Frank getting specifically?
We never did fix his creaky knee.
He's still got a little hobble to it.
Frank is 5.
Okay. So you get a couple of weird looks as you're walking by. And people are like, because again, you guys are one of the few groups out wandering. It's been a few hours, and so like it's brighter out, but there's too much rain to really see. And you get a couple of people looking your way, but nobody comes over and approaches you. As you make your way back to the Twist and Shout. When upon your return, you see...
I would like to spend my time on the way there loudly complaining to myself that Maury is still mad at me.
Listen, I'm not mad. At least not anymore. I'm just disappointed. And I give him a very disappointed dad look.
Well, don't be disappointed in me. I needed to know
Disappointed at what?
things.
You guys are... Since I've met you, you guys have been on a rage kill streak. It feels like the both of you.
Well, you didn't find out that there are murderous slaver rats going to your home, did you?
I agree with Ronan on this.
Which murderous slave rat?
The murderous slave rats that all left. That disappeared. They're all going up to Eastoff to probably slave and murder more people.
Ronan, you can't relate one slave rat that we've met this entire time to the entire rat race of... The fuck?
Oh, he feels very.
What just happened?
Boy, that lightning is really intense in this thunderstorm.
Anyway, I go blind for a second because of the thunder or the lightning. Anyway, I completely lost my train. You can't relate all of the rats to the one slaver rat we've met so far.
Well,
Two.
we know that
Slaver
there's
rat.
Skiggy with the. I know about Skiggy. Yeah, because I talked to those
Yeah,
guys.
and the one you electrocuted.
Yeah, well, this one that I found ended up not being a slaver rat, and I didn't kill him.
We didn't kill him.
See?
You were going to.
I
No,
could
I
have.
wasn't.
Are you positive?
Yeah. I thought about it, but I didn't.
I didn't think about it, but I could have.
I know it doesn't make any sense.
I've been blamed for a lot of things in my life. And I really, really don't want you guys to have that kind of reputation.
Well, I appreciate your concern, but let me spin the picture around to you. If you learned that a bunch of dangerous people were moving into your home, wouldn't you do whatever it took to find out why?
I just kind of laugh. I know exactly how you feel. I'm just saying, the next time you guys come across somebody, maybe we think a little bit more before we kill them.
We didn't kill him!
Didn't kill him.
He ran away. Fernando the Third is fine, probably.
Sure, after you've mentally scarred him and tortured him for...
I didn't cut any
Hours.
of his toes off, and I don't think it was ours.
And I didn't mentally cut any of his toes off.
That's creepy that you can do that.
But I didn't.
What's your deal with slavers anyway? Disappearing in the middle of the day, jumping down sewer holes.
God, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this that doesn't sound like Spider-Man.
I think
Once a-
Sony owns Spider-Man, so we can do that.
Yeah.
We can get away with this.
Once a man showed up and demanded something from me, and I said no. And he killed my best friend in front of me. After that point, I decided to help those who could not help themselves to the best of my ability. So, if killing every slaver I come across helps people, I will do it without hesitation.
And my mom was taken into slavery when I was very little.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's not your fault. And I'm glad we could get this off of our chests. So, let's say we get out of the rain and talk about less depressing things for the next however long.
Sure.
You all walk into the Twist and Shout, where Lami and Evelyn have been talking about slightly more depressing things. Evelyn is well and truly sloshed because she's been trying to keep up with Lami. Hilariously, she held out way longer than she should have. You've just gotten to the point where you've had enough beers that you're like, okay, cool. You're hit the point where like, as long as I stay sitting, I'm great.
That's a rough point.
And she, unfortunately, because she's been pouring the beers for you, has to keep getting up to go get the beers. She's gone drink for drink with you this entire morning, and the only reason she's showing the effects is because she's getting the drinks.
What a great bartender.
And so, yeah, you guys come in and they're Evelyn's in the middle of saying something about how her entire, she was raised in an orphanage and then the orphanage burned down. And it was just a terrible, terrible time. Thrall, she's absolutely not telling the truth about this orphanage burning down in her childhood.
That's fine. I'm not gonna say anything.
Lami, how are you reacting to this terrible, terrible sob story that she's telling you with complete, earnest honesty? Because she crit on her perception check. Spoilers.
I'm gonna just be, kind of paying attention every few seconds. Oh, that sounds terrible. Oh, yeah. Just kind of looking around, like, looking for a way out of this conversation. And then the door opens and be like, oh, look who it is.
So you are all welcome back to Evelyn telling a very, very sad story, and Lami being like, "Hi guys," like Thor in Ragnarok when he's like, "We work together," like that big shit-eating grin.
He's a friend from work.
And so with that, we will jump over to our final scene with the two people in the library actually studying.
Hey,
we know who does the
lot.
homework we know who does the homework on the group project this week. So we'll jump to you two. Where do you want to pick up?
What was the last thing we did was what she would turn into.
She was doing the studying for like a dragon.
Dragons.
So yeah, we can do you guys picking up Cora from the front desk for a jumping off point. If that works.
Yeah, because we got all of our research.
You're. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll see Lythar to the door, but I want to do a little more research.
Okay. So yeah, as the time limit starts to take over, so yeah, as Lythar, when she's like, "Hey, get Cora out of here," you come back, and Cora is curled up around Liv's chair, and Liv, like, she has her feet up on the desk and she's reading a book and her one hand is down, just kind of resting on Cora's head, and Cora's just snoozing away, happy as a clam. But when the door opens, Liv like picks up and is like, oh, and she sees that it's the two of you, and she's like, "Oh, I'm glad that you guys are here, because my replacement should be here in the next couple of minutes." And I totally lost track of time, or I would have said something, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And her hand has not stopped, like, petting Cora while she's talking to you guys.
I'm just going to look at her and be like, not so bad, is she?
No. She, like, looks down and is like, she's a very quiet dog for her size. I didn't think that she'd be this chill in a building like this. It was kind of nice.
And I'm going to be like, dog? And then I'm just going to be like, Cora, let's go. And I'm going to want her Moonlight to like full blast when she gets up to walk with me. And just watch her be like...
Yeah, so as she kind of gets up and like kind of shakes herself awake, and as she's walking towards you, it's like, and she's glowing, and you're like, well, let's go. And she just trots on after you. Liv is dumbstruck watching the two of you leave. She's just like, you have weird friends. Like,
Wait, right before I leave close the door, can I like pop my head back in and be like, "Thank you, Thalia. You're the
I'll be
best.
there. I'll catch up with you in a little bit. I'm just going to look up a couple more things. I'll be there soon.
Thanks for helping me with the second nut problem." And I'll close the door.
Liv's just like, don't tell me I lost a second bet.
No. He's really bad with words. Really bad with words.
Uh-huh. All right. Cool. I'm gonna... And the door next to her swings open, and a gentleman, a fairly nondescript, like a generic dude, just kind of walks in and is like, oh, makes starts signing in to change over, and Liv's filling out her paperwork, and she looks up at you and goes, so now that I know that you can get drunk, we're gonna drink, and you're gonna tell me what the hell that was about, and also just what the hell. Yeah, let's hang out.
Yeah. Sometime. Yeah. We'll talk.
Uh-huh. Okay. I know where you live. Just
I
remember
know where
that.
you live.
Then you should come over.
Yeah, I've been... It's a long story.
Cool. So 8 o'clock?
Maybe? Solid maybe.
We'll push to 8:30. See you later. And she kind of gives you a wave as she goes back into the goes back up to the dormitories. So what are you looking up?
I'm gonna look up Vint.
Okay.
And I'm gonna open my letter from Ergen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look at that last paragraph. And I'm gonna see what the Brotherhood has on Hema.
Curtis's faces. What did that last paragraph say?
Don't read my thoughts.
I don't like it.
I see. Look to the other screen. Yes, last paragraph.
About Hema. Okay. How long are you going to research?
What time is it now?
It's been 3 hours. It's probably like 2 o'clock. Yeah. It's the yeah.
I'll research another 4 hours.
Okay. So give me. So Vint comes up pretty easy. What specifically are you looking for about Vint?
A little bit of background about the town, but any sort of folklore surrounding the town.
So again, the town is a fairly good iron town. It's in the Rusted Mountains, so-called because both because of the large iron content, but also like supposedly when the sun hits them, they look like they've rusted over. Like these, like, you know, there's a large plateau called the Giant's Shield, because people saw it and they were like, oh my god, a giant died and this is his shield, and it all rusted over. But are you looking for wolf specific folklore? There is a going back about 100 years or so, you do receive sort of looking into wolves. There is a story, there is a record of a wolf coming to town through the Needles Pass, which is a gap in the mountains that's fairly treacherous, and is usually only used for crossing over. It's the most direct route through the mountains, but it's not safe by any means, and it's never really been made safe. And there are stories of a wolf coming through the Needles Pass with a letter, and like it's kind of the in modern day terms, it's the story of the first marathon, where they just ran and ran and ran, delivered the letter, and died of its injuries. The letter warned of an invading army coming through the pass to do sort of like a sneak attack raid on the village, and they were able to get word out and push back this attack through the Needles Pass. And so there is a statue of this wolf in the city. And there are reports of wolves being seen in the area, and one particular wolf that's bigger than it should be. A large, tawny wolf that has been supposedly spotted around the area. And these reports start after this raid was pushed back. People started seeing this wolf and hearing these stories, and the wolf stories continue, and they're allegedly, the last recording you have is about 5 years old, and there's still reports that there is a large tawny wolf in this area. And so for Hema, I'm sorry, it is a gray wolf, not tawny. Or the stories of the wolf. The wolf is still around the city is tawny. The wolf that died is gray.
Okay.
I was like, double check my notes on that. So Hema, yeah, like a brownish kind of wolf.
Mm-hmm.
So for Hema, I'm gonna need a religion check with advantage because you have your tablet.
I went to take notes about that, but then I was like, I'm not there. So I wrote Needles Pass, and I was like, I'm not there. I'm not going to write these things down because I'm technically not.
12.
12. So you start looking, and you're starting to sift through, and you find a couple of mentions of Hema, and they are not the. Normally you have stories of angels and celestials going through and being these, like, you get stories of, avenging angels going out and doing these things. The big hero is the angel. Hema is not mentioned in those kinds of stories. Hema is mentioned in stories of angels singing. And there's a passage in sort of listing, almost like credits in a movie. And it's just Hema, her voice like fire, as sort of her, like, almost like a title, as her descriptor in this text. But she is usually part of, like, the literal choir of angels. Is there anything else, anything specific you would like to know about her?
Not right now.
Okay. So yeah, that takes probably 3 of your 4 hours, because the information about Hema, you find a couple of crossed, like, you spend probably 45 minutes digging, and then you realize that there's a mistranslation, that the tablet isn't quite picking up. The Control F tablet is not it doesn't quite translate perfectly, and there's some transcriptions. So you had to parse through some garbage, but then you were able to find a few references that seem correct.
Okay. And then I'll just head back to the Twist and Shout.
Okay. Lythar, when you return to the Twist and Shout, what's everyone been doing for... it's probably been about 30 minutes since the rest of the group came back. What's everybody been up to?
I want to ask Evelyn some questions.
Okay, she's behind the bar. She's got her. She shifted from beer and whiskey, and she now just has a wine glass in her hand, and she's like,
So, Evelyn, one of the last nights we saw you, you were in leather armor. What was that about?
I was hunting.
What were you hunting that you needed armor?
It's not armor. They're hunting leathers. It's mobility. It's to move around and be. It's fine.
Am I there at this point?
You can trickle in towards in the middle of this conversation. About 30 minutes gives people time to, like, deal with their stuff and come back.
Can I insight check her to see if she's being honest with this?
Sure. Roll at disadvantage, please.
What? She's drunk.
Yeah, she's drunk. You don't know.
While
That's
he's pondering, I'm gonna be like, Ronan.
No, you're actually you are correct. Because yeah, I just thought about it. She is drunk. So you'll do a straight roll.
I don't remember
Just-
what the first one was, so I'm just gonna start
Just
over.
roll fresh. I'm sorry.
Insight plus 0, 14.
She seems like she. From what you could tell, yeah, she was wearing hunting clothes to go hunting.
I'm gonna be like, Ronan, I wear leather armor. You gotta be able to nibble your bimble.
Yeah, don't what?
What were you hunting?
Don't.
then?
Hang on, I'm hung
curiosity.
up on the nibble your what?
Don't worry about the nibbling bimbles.
I'm worried about what this kid's doing with his bimble.
Kid? Who are you calling kid?
Sorry. This old man is doing with his bimble.
Old man? Who are you calling?
What are you? You're an elf. You're like 1,000 years old, or you're 6. I can never fucking tell with you guys.
Evelyn, we're not sure what's wrong with him. He just really loves cherries, as you know.
No. Sorry, Cherry Fairy. I didn't. Anyway, listen. What was I hunting?
Yeah, what were you hunting?
People.
Is she being honest? on the insight checklist?
Give me an insight check.
Can I hear this?
Yes.
Is she telling the truth? You don't have to say specifically.
That's a 2 plus 1, so 3. Oh no, I have a 0 to insight, so 2.
Just 2.
I was about to say, wow, your modifier increased between the last roll.
I'm suddenly smart. You absolutely. You can't tell if she's fucking. So, Ronan, you can't tell if she's fucking with you. Thrall, she's not.
You don't have to say.
It's fuzzy. It's a fuzzy definition of people.
So she's not lying.
She's not totally lying. She was definitely hunting something. But you're like the way she's acting, you're pretty sure that she might be just trying to get a reaction out of Ronan.
I'm gonna place my sword down on the bar. I'm gonna go, because when we saw you in those leathers, very shortly after, a bunch of people were almost kidnapped. Or were kidnapped. See where I'm getting at?
Oh. Look. I didn't kidnap anybody.
Were you trying to?
No.
Okay, insight check. 19!
She's telling the
Suck
truth.
on that. Yeah! Oh, fuck.
Insight check. Boom!
Oh.
I'm a god. Shit.
Oh, there goes
That's
that theory.
funny. You find nothing.
Yeah, she is telling the truth.
Well, thank you for clearing that up, and I'm just gonna take my sword back.
Is Adam at the bar?
Adam has not made an appearance today, which is
anybody
unusual.
behind the bar?
Evelyn is behind the bar.
Or Evelyn is.
She's been bartending for Lami.
I don't want to ask her to get. She doesn't like me right now. I confuse her.
You can ask her. You can always ask.
I'll be like, after this slightly stressful interaction, I'm just gonna try to break in and be like, could I possibly have an ale?
Oh yeah. And she turns and
Can
she's
it be
like,
bimble flavored?
You know, I've never had bimble. She takes time, pops the tab, sends it down the bar. It's not quite as smooth as Adam is, so like you put out your hand like where Adam normally puts it, and it hits you like the forearm. But you got your beer, and that's the important thing.
Ronan, did you buy anything today that could help us?
Yes, we got things and stuff.
What did you buy? What did you find?
You heard him. Things and stuff.
Yeah, we've got
Everybody
some
wants things.
health potions and some potions of resistance from the fire, and Ed's making something for Nimbly Bimbly Boy.
Me.
God, was that all I was supposed? Oh, and Ed's game to go with us tomorrow morning. So hopefully we're ready to go tomorrow morning because that's
Where
what
are
we
you
told
guys
him.
going?
To a place with stuff.
Well, I think we could bring her.
And things.
Yeah, how are you in a fight? Do you want to come with us?
She's pretty good company. She has
Where are we
leather
going?
armor.
To kill a dragon.
Ooh. No, I'm good.
Okay.
I like dragons are neat. I like saying that I know people that have killed a dragon, and maybe this time it'll be true.
Why, yes, it will.
What do you mean maybe this time?
Maybe. I don't know. I'll say that I know people who killed the dragon when y'all come back.
Lomi, does fire bother you? What's
A little bit.
a little bit, or like me a little bit, or you a little bit?
What does that mean, a little bit?
Like if I
No. I have an idea. And she pulls out a torch. And Thalia, you walk in to see Lobby. Are you consenting to being tested with this torch?
Oh yeah, I'm putting my hand over it.
So you walk in and you see a kind of wobbly Evelyn, like holding this torch, intently staring at Lami's palm as he's holding it over this lit flame. And Ronan, I'm picturing Ronan just standing there like, well, it's okay.
Yeah.
Ronan, do you want to try?
Yes. I stick my hand over the flame.
Okay. And I think that's an amazing place to stop. With Thalia just being like, opens the door and Ronan being like, yeah, sure. And just like the hand comes in and she's like, I'm about to do that. And then we end the episode there. And that's where we'll break. Or I mean go away for a week. Because time is hard. But
That's how the days of the week work.
yeah, times is hard. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. It was a lot of fun. That was a very, very good time. A lot of fun little interactions.
Mike's
People are
having a dandy old adventure off. And
everyone's like, cool.
I'm going to hell.
Everyone's like, cool. I'm gonna go talk. I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna go talk to Ed. And Robbie's like, the stakes aren't high enough yet.
Let's get the demons in on it.
Let's hang out with a tiefling who then kills himself and goes back to hell while I'm tethered to his jacket. Because that's what I expected when this game started. Anyway, tune in next week, Internet, to see what happens when Robbie crashes a birthday party or something. Like, I don't know. Demons have birthdays. We'll figure
would it
it
be
out.
more like a funeral?
A funeral party.
They're having a party.
Resurrection party?
They like Dia de los Muertos, maybe. Like, they're like, oh, hey, look who's... It's a coming home party. It's a homecoming. It's IUP homecoming in hell.
Oh no!
God.
So IUP
Ready.
homecoming.
No, yes.
Oh,
Yes, it's IUP homecoming.
mounted
Be ready.
police and all.
There will
Do they really have those?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Anyway,
Don't touch
bye,
the
Internet.
horses.
Bye.
Don't touch the horses.
Don't touch the
Don't
horses.
touch the horses.